Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the morning show. It's the best morning show in finance. Spencer Israel, JC Parets, Steve Strazza. It is Crypto Friday. You know what that means. We got some crypto charts ready, and we have a crypto-themed guest joining us today, Louis Sykes, crypto trader and connoisseur of the altcoins, will be on in about 20 minutes. That'll be a lot of fun. Good morning, everyone in chat. Good morning, everyone watching us on our website, stockmarketmedia.com. Good morning, everyone on YouTube and on Twitter as well. You're cool, too. All right, let's get the show on the road. We got a lot going on. Where's my intro? Come on, intro. Where are you? Play for me.
All right. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh, what is it? Fun Shirt Friday? I didn't get the memo.
Listen, this is my bull market shirt, but more specifically, not stock market related, more so football season, baby. Miami Hurricanes going to set the college football country on fire. We got a quarterback from Connecticut. Fun fact.
When's opening day?
A couple weeks, month-ish. What do you think?
Dude, I'm ready. Are they going to be good this year?
It's a fun shirt.
They're going to be good this year. Listen, it's up to you Connecticut guys to get it done.
One Connecticut guy's got to get it done.
One Connecticut guy. Yeah, exactly. If you have a team full of Connecticut guys, you probably don't have a good team, right?
I mean, hey, last year was exciting. Connecticut makes some fine football players. Example A.
And I think they make better golfers. Better golfers, better traders. Football players,
Lacrosse.
Connecticut actually has some pretty decent baseball players, believe it or not.
Lacrosse players.
I guess. Nah, Connecticut doesn't do lacrosse. It's more like Long Island, Baltimore, Maryland, not Connecticut.
You're wrong about that, but okay.
All right, where do you want to start? Starting State of the Markets or Crypto Friday?
You say I'm putting my earpiece on?
Where we starting?
What's this about me needing an earpiece? You said my audio was off? Yes, you are.
Yeah, you're off. All right, Spencer, let's hit the state of the markets. I've had enough with this guy.
All right.
All right, Spencer Israel, before us coming on, was just talking about how he's it's been a tough August for the indexes, and I don't really give a damn, right? I think that if you're upset about, not that Spencer's upset, he clarified. He says he personally wasn't upset. He was just making it clear that August has been tough for the indexes. That's too bad, so sad. If you're sitting around owning the indexes, I think that there's a time and a place for everything. A strategy to just sit around and blindly buy indexes works sometimes. It was actually really good in the first half of the year. I have expected it to be a terrible decision to make in the back half of the year. So far, that continues to be the case. And I continue to think that the back half of the year is going to be tough for index investors. You know, when they say stock pickers market, I think this is what they're talking about. You can even also argue a sector pickers market more specifically. And why is that? Well, if you're going to be an index investor, I think it makes sense to understand what the hell's inside those indexes, right? And as it turns out, you got a lot of tech in the United States. In the S&P 500, the Nasdaq's even more obnoxious. So here, if you're wondering what the indexes are going to do, let's take a look at its biggest weighting. Up top, you got technology on a market. No, go up. Back, yeah. On the top, you got technology on a market cap weighted basis, right? Failing to hold above those prior cycles highs. And then some would argue, the XLK is not a great representation of technology because half of it is just Microsoft and Apple. And yes, that might be true. So let's just throw in the equally weighted technology index below it, and it looks the same except slightly worse. So things aren't getting any better. So listen, owning things stuck below overhead supply is no way to go through life. If you choose to live that way, knock yourself out. I don't recommend it. I certainly don't live that way, and I don't like to see other people living that way. So, really think about what type of investor you want to be. Do you want to be the type of investor that has one strategy and forces that strategy upon the market no matter what the environment looks like? Or do you want to do what we do, which is first identify what type of market environment we're in, and then decide which tools and strategies are best for that type of market environment? We have concluded that in this type of market environment, owning things stuck below overhead supply is a terrible idea. So it's not something that we're doing at all. If you want to move on to the next one to show just how different the back half of the year has been relative to the first half of the year, this is just the second half. I'm not anchoring to a specific date. This is just simply first half and second half. So we're about halfway done through the third quarter, believe it or not, which is, time flies when you're having fun. And, look at energy on an equally weighted basis up over 12%. Energy on a cap weighted basis up 9%. That equally weighted relative strength is really coming from some of the oil services that are dramatically outperforming some of the integrateds that really fill up the XLE. So you're seeing that broad participation in energy. Financials also positive here in the second half. That's quite the change of events from last year. I was told that it was a financial crisis. May have been more of a profit opportunity, as it turns out. And the worst area so far have been technology. Q's been struggling. Indexes are flat. So just let's remember that the first half of the year and the back half are two different things. And then here's the catalyst once again. We talk about it every day, so I don't want to exhaust it too much. But throw up the dollar index, because if the dollar is below the lows from the first half of the year, if the dollar is above the lows from the first half of the year, then stocks are going to continue to struggle, right? This is the best case scenario for stocks. I think this is the lower probability outcome where the dollar starts falling apart again and stocks really pick up the pace. It could happen, but I got to see it, right? I'm not going to make that bet. I got to see it. Here's what we're seeing. Go throw the next chart up. This is what we're actually seeing. Here's what's actually happening, and that's the dollar. No. Keep the dollar up. Here's the dollar holding above those prior lows, still holding above those prior lows. And as long as the dollar is above 101, 102, it's above that area, I think stocks are going to have a hard time. And I wanted to throw out a little Mercado Libre. There you go. They don't say it like that in Connecticut, huh, Strazza?
No, sir.
Mercado Libre. There we go.
Why are you thinking about Mercado Libre? Did they just have earnings?
I'm not sure, but it's making new 52-week highs. And it doesn't look terrible.
No, I was looking at it yesterday too because it was up a good amount.
Yeah, really, really, really interesting there. So, just something to keep in mind. Realistically, from a risk management level, what are we looking at here on the Mercado Libre? I used to date a girl named Melly, and every time I bring up this ticker symbol, I think of her, and she was crazy, man. She was batshit crazy, and every time I pull this chart up, like, she comes to mind. So, like, I try not to let those experiences cloud my judgment for the stock. I try to focus. It has nothing to do with her and those experiences that I had.
Yeah, see, that's too bad. I know how our brains do that, though. That's a stinky one. For me, like, I think of the crepe restaurant on Greenwich Avenue, Melly Mellow. So that's nicer than your crazy ex-girlfriend. But
yeah,
there are other tickers.
When you name your daughter, right? Like, we didn't have that much trouble naming our daughter, but, like, my wife would bring up all these names, and I was like, oh no, we can't name her that.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine.
All right, so what did you like better? Do you like my shirt today? Or do you like my charts today better?
I love the shirt. We're gonna have to talk offline. I was staying.
Speaking of my wife, she hates it. She says it's the ugliest shirt I've ever seen.
We were gonna stay in Coral Gables like a few weekends ago when I got back from Asia, and my plan was to go to the Miami store, but we didn't end up doing that. So I never.
You've been there with me before. I've taken you there, right?
But I've never been back. The All Cane store. Yeah, no, I've been back once without you. But I need gear. Can I find something like that there?
Probably. It's a great store.
Right. I like your bull market.
By the way, the University of Miami recruits a lot from New Jersey, North Bergen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Good football players.
Yeah.
More good football players come from New Jersey than from Connecticut.
Specifically in the northern part of the state, but yes, this is true.
Yeah, the southern part of the state's more basketball, right?
Yeah, that's a stretch, but yeah.
All right. Like in the
All right.
Philly area, you know?
Yeah.
And it's more hood down there. In the North Bergen is like nicer.
Yeah, there's more money. Strazza, what's up?
No, I have a bunch of stuff we can do here.
You want to do?
Look at that. He knows right next to the Titanic Brewery. See, he knows the Alkane store. Yep, that's right. Somebody's paying attention.
You want to do crypto? Crypto Friday?
No comments on my hold on. No comments on my charts. It's just kind of like, okay, JC, are you done yet? That's it.
It's a lot of what we've been talking about, right? To be fair.
Yeah, the dollar is everything. You said it yourself.
Yeah, like it. I thought it was great, but it's nothing new. We've been talking about this. You're absolutely right. The dollar is the most important chart in the world now again, and stocks, some more than others, are running an overhead supply. That's simply where we're at right now.
Hold on. Was the dollar not the most important chart for a while?
It was not. We talked about this. I think the first few quarters of the year, we got what we needed from the dollar. It got absolutely smacked late last year, right? So we kind of knew that headwind, at least the way that we knew it, had dissipated, right? And now this is like the dollar's next move, kind of saying, maybe we're not in some clear downtrend, and I'm not going to be a tailwind after all. It's like the, revenge of the dollar.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where like the market doesn't necessarily need the dollar to collapse to do well. It just can't have the dollar going up. Is that right?
Yeah, like this little, scoop higher back above those pivot lows after getting oversold, it's confusing some people. That's all.
All right.
It's something to keep an eye on. I have another Latin American stock though that I would love to talk about.
Ooh.
Your Melly's got me into it.
Someone's been hanging out in South Florida for a long time.
So I'm going to drop this in the deck. I know how we do things here. So this will be slide 2. No, see, this is XP Inc. It's not like Melly Mello or Mercado Libre in the way that they, I think, operate throughout South America, right? XP Inc. is just Brazil. Kind of looked into like how they make money the other day. A lot of it is just on gains from securities, from their holdings. They're kind of like a hedge fund. They do brokerage things. They do underwriting things.
It's based in the Cayman, so they got some shady shit going on.
Yeah. See, when I look at your revenue breakdown and I see that like half of your revenues are coming from like marking securities to market, I'm like, I don't know, right? I could lose my own money in the stock market. I don't need you to do it for me. But
why are you saying it's in Brazil?
It's a Brazilian company.
Is it? It's just based in Cayman for tax shady reasons?
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe they do reinsurance. I don't know what to tell you there. But look,
I'm cool with it. I don't care what they do.
It's a financial services, firm in Brazil. So this was a really popular, hot name. I think I talked to like Howard about it years back when it first IPO'd. People were excited about this one, and it got absolutely destroyed in 2021, 2022, just like a lot of things. But look, this is still a stock of considerable size. They're not like, this is not profitable tech. They make money, a couple billion.
14 billion in market caps, not nothing.
Yeah, so it's a real company. It only trades at like, low 20 multiple to earnings. So interesting. It's got some serious growth there. Again,
Are we really doing a PE ratio of this Ponzi scheme?
I had to look at it because I'm like, wow, this is a real. Listen, JC, more than anybody. Charts that look like this kind of drawdown, come in public when they did. Most of these companies don't make money, right? So when I saw it was 14 billion, I had to look under the hood and see what was going on there. So that's interesting. They've been profitable for a while now. So
I got a perspective here. Yeah, throw up my chart there. I like my chart better.
Higher. Like this thing just bottomed out this year.
Look at slide 2 there, Spencer. This is how I see it. And I think it's a good way to see it. I think it's a good way to see it. I think all that support running into resistance there, right? You like that?
I mean, we have it marked up the same way. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, I like the way mine looks better.
You have a bearish mindset right now. Every chart you mark up, whether it's Apple, Microsoft, XP Inc., you're finding overhead supply.
I'm not finding it. The shareholders are finding it.
You're looking hard for resistance.
No, I'm not. You don't have to look that hard.
The dollar did this to you. Say the dollar did this.
The dollar did nothing to me. For the record,
making you crazy. All right, Spencer.
The dollar has done nothing to me. The dollar is putting pressure on equities, or is the pressure on equities putting a bid in the dollar? I don't know. Chicken or the egg?
Are we gonna make some money on Bitcoin this weekend?
Probably not. It's probably going lower.
Man,
this thing had every opportunity in the world to break out, and it didn't. I don't remember a time that we have had such good news on Bitcoin ever, and it couldn't break out. Bitcoin couldn't break out. So that's information.
JC, does anybody trade Bitcoin anymore? Is it me or do these charts just look like where did the market go? Like, who's buying and selling this thing? Even the way it moves, like Bitcoin gets really rangy, it gets tight, wide shadows in both directions, and then goes nowhere.
People will trade it as soon as it moves. As soon as
Spencer's right. When he's right, he's right. When it moves, it moves. That's right.
Depressing action from crypto.
Mark this moment
depressing if you own it, and if you don't own it, then you wouldn't give a shit. I personally don't give a shit.
It's just boring.
What do you mean?
Back in 20 and 21, crypto was exciting. I'm not saying it was good for everybody.
So it's boring now. That's why I don't own it.
My favorite headline of all time was
volume dropped a lot.
From the New York Times, January 17. Everyone's getting rich on Bitcoin and you're not. I love that headline so much.
How'd Bitcoin do after that?
Who did that? Who did
that? The New York Times, January of 17. Right after that, remember that first peak above 20? Was it 20? Yeah, I think it was 20.
They're good at what they do.
I love that headline.
Want to read this one from the chat. If the U.S. dollar downgrade can't make Bitcoin rally, what will? It's just a dangerous way to think. It's not how it works.
Who downgraded the U.S. dollar?
Fitch, remember?
No.
Was it Moody's?
The U.S. debt, not the dollar. It has nothing to do with the dollar.
Yeah, I see.
Talking about the U.S. downgrade, but yes, JC, you're right. They debt, not the dollar. If the U.S. downgrade, I read it wrong.
Here's a question from Pete in the stock market media chat. JC always said crypto trades like a tech stock and not its own asset class. So did something change? If XLK is going to dump, why would crypto run?
I agree. Probably won't. Yeah, that's right. That's probably right.
That was the best logic I've heard in the chat. Absolutely. That's a great point. Right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm with you on that. I hope it goes to zero.
Shout out to Pete. All right.
Let it go to zero.
That's a great way to think about it. If you think tech is getting stuffed at overhead supply here like JC does, it would be a little bit inconsistent to see all of a sudden Bitcoin, breaking out and ripping higher.
It could happen. It could. It's not the bet I'm making. It could. Anything could happen.
I would even look more at the small cap tech, speculative tech, ARKy stuff. If that's, getting collapsing the kind of way it has been the past 2 weeks, Bitcoin's probably not breaking out. Great point. Thank you.
All right, let's roll with our Crypto Friday bumper, and let's bring on Louis Sykes. He's here.
ARK looks terrible.
Yeah, Louis in the house.
ARK has been looking bad actually for a few weeks now.
Awful.
All right, where's my Crypto Friday bumper? There it is.
Boys, how are we?
Lou Dog.
What a show. It's been a long time coming.
I'm telling you, man. That's some man bun you got going on. Let me tell you that.
Thanks. Just growing it out.
No big deal. How are the ladies in New Zealand liking it? They're digging it. You got the tall guy game going. You got the man bun.
Yeah. Man, when I go over to Huntington Beach, I think I'm going to be a popular man.
Louis coming to the United States of America. How about that? We're going to do some California things. Some of which we'll talk about here on the show. Tacos are good. How are the tacos in New Zealand? They probably suck, huh?
Non-existent.
Mexicans never made it to New Zealand.
Nah, don't have those type around here.
All right. Well, Louis Sykes in the house. He is our go-to man when it comes to all things crypto and on-chain analytics. Spencer and Strazza here, mostly Strazza, complaining about how boring crypto is these days. I really couldn't care less either way, but I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are. Flip the book, long Bitcoin, or not so much?
Did you hear our conversation just before you came on, Louis?
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are talking about Brazilian, stocks. It's Crypto Friday. Come on.
Tell him, Louis. Tell him.
What do you think about what we were saying about crypto? It's boring.
Well,
is it tech?
Well, yeah. Look, it's the to state the obvious, it is boring. Things have been choppy. Things have been sideways. But I think it's important to view it in the context of what's happened. So I just want to zoom back a little bit because our recency bias can be so overpowering at times where we've even forgotten what FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried is. We're in the FTX shirt today
There we go.
as a
Someone's
reminder.
repping. Yeah, don't bring that to
And
California, all right?
no, I won't. I won't.
Hey, can we throw the chart up while Louis describes this?
And so if we go back to last year, right? Last year, I would argue is probably the worst bear market of all time in crypto, which probably isn't saying too much because, crypto's only been around for a decade, right? But in terms of loss realization, capital leaving the ecosystem on chain, and institutional contagion, right? Because previous bear markets in crypto have primarily been retail getting burnt, but this time around it was a completely different dynamic where you had that institutional contagion. You had 3AC go under, you had Luna, FTX, Celsius, BlockFi, not to mention all of these funds, right? And so it was a bear market of pretty epic proportions. And so we know studying technical analysis because technical analysis works on any asset class. And now why is that? It's because, our human psychology is almost a sort of omnipresent element to markets, right? Our human psychology drives markets. And so the technical analysis that we use in, the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or lean hog futures or the New Zealand dollar, it works on crypto, it works on Bitcoin, it works on NFTs. And so we know that bottoms take time, and we know that bottoms they don't just happen. It takes time. And so it takes time to absorb that overhead supply. And so it's perfectly normal what we're seeing right now. It's perfectly normal for this choppy action, and it's perfectly normal for this for this choppy action to absorb all this left-hand supply. And so it's really just that 30K level. And if anything, it would be unusual, right? If we just ripped straight through. So what we're seeing is completely normal. It's just normal choppy action. And
All right.
even when you look at the internals,
Yeah,
it's
terrible.
it's just tumbleweeds. It's
I think
boring.
it's interesting what you said that this was the worst bear market in the history of crypto. When you add up the dollars and cents that were lost last year, I mean, think about the market capitalization. I mean, we're talking about over $2 trillion wiped out for the entire history of Bitcoin. I mean, that market cap was nowhere near that. So it was impossible. So in terms of dollars wiped out, a couple trillion, no big deal.
And it was
Yeah.
more than a year of just steadily lower. It's
Yeah.
probably out too.
And so on a drawdown basis, it wasn't the worst, but when you look a little bit more deeper, man, it was tough.
So you make a lot of good points, right? Like bottoms are processes. We know this. We try to remind ourselves all the time, but some strange stuff has happened, at least, in the past quarter or two, right? Like, would you have wanted to make the bet that these bases and mega cap tech stocks would resolve higher sooner than the base in something like Bitcoin? Right.
Well, I mean, to JC's point, you've got overhead supply everywhere, and it's not just something that we're drawing; it's there, and that correlation to tech stocks to the dollar is still there. And so I find that a lot of people within crypto, they focus on a lot of the idiosyncratic drivers within those markets, which are relevant, but a lot of the time they do miss out on the broader risk appetite picture. And so when you do have the dollar, with this false breakout, when you have a lot of tech names running into overhead supply, is that the bet you want to be making? Is longing Bitcoin into that while Bitcoin is struggling at former resistance?
Listen,
Well,
owning things below overhead supply is no way to go through life.
Hold on. Wait. If you go back to April, right? If I said to you mega cap growth, look at something like MGK. If I said MGK is going to move in a straight line higher for the next 3 months from April to mid-July, do you want to own Bitcoin? Would you have said yes or no?
I mean, those correlations do change, but
just saying.
broadly speaking, yeah, it is unexpected to see that.
Yes, and there you go. And the answer is I would have said yes, and the fact that Bitcoin didn't participate is information.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a shocker. You would have expected differently, but of course, these things dislocate. Look, we overlay these charts all the time. The point I'm trying to make is simply Bitcoin's in the same place it was back in April. And if you look at some of these mega cap tech charts, they look very different today than they did back in April.
Can we talk about the volatility? Can we talk about slide 13 showing the volatility contraction that we're seeing? And we'll get into some of the individual names. I know people are asking about Mara and things like that.
I feel like volatility has been contracting in Bitcoin like since late last year. There is no volatility in this market. It's crazy. We're always just stuck. We're constantly putting Bollinger Bands on these charts now.
And it's the same story when you look at the money.
We always did, Strazza.
We always did, but JC, this is a lot. I mean, we're constantly looking at these things being like, this is pretty tight.
Because volatility has contracted so much. Yeah. And from
what do you want us to say? That volatility isn't tight? You know?
Right.
We're just saying what the data is saying.
This is the crypto market. I need some fireworks. I need some action. Like I said.
Well, have a look at the at the money implied volatility within the Bitcoin options. Again, it's the same story. The options market is pricing a continuation of this low volatility regime. When you get that in combination with that contraction in price, where the options market prices in a continuation of that volatility crunch, that's when oftentimes you do get that expansion in volatility. We see it all the time, and I'm betting now is probably going to be no different.
So you're actually looking under the hood at options prices for Bitcoin.
It's the same thing. It's the same data that you're getting in the Bollinger Bands.
I mean, the big thing with crypto is more just the volatility trading, just because the premiums are so high that directionally trading crypto options.
Louis, where are the derivative markets for crypto these days? Like, if you live in the United States, where can people actually participate? Can they participate in a derivatives market that's actually liquid?
I wouldn't actually know about the United States because I do all my derivatives trading through Binance, and I know that Binance US is a little bit shaky. And so I'm not 100% sure, but your government certainly isn't making it easy for you guys.
So did you hear what happened there? It's not even shaky anymore. They won't hold US dollars at all. Take their money.
It was such a non-story. Binance US is such a small exchange, and they do so little volume that it really doesn't. Binance US could blow up today, and it wouldn't even matter.
Didn't it already?
No, but that's not true though, right? Because they have counterparty risk with their own company, Binance International. Right?
They're two completely separate entities. Binance US isn't run by CZ. It's
These guys don't file focus reports, Louis, for a reason, because they don't want you to know where the cash is and who's moving it from where to where. If you think that they're completely different entities owned totally by the same exact person, they don't send some money back and forth every now and then, you're crazy.
How about the fact that the seasonality, worst time of the year for Bitcoin? Can we throw that seasonality chart up there? A little seasonals, no big deal.
It must be Crypto Friday if we're pulling up the Bitcoin seasonals.
Well, it's Crypto Friday.
You know, I thought you're a bit of a bull, JC, at the moment, because aren't you in the Mara options at the moment?
No, I'm not. Throw up slide. Where is it?
He's bearish with FOMO.
I'm not bearish. I have no position at all. If I were bearish, I'd be short. Slide 29. That's the one that explains it. And if those are wondering, about Mara or any crypto trades that we're putting on, if you go to our trade ideas page, it's all listed there. Come on, Spencer. What's going on back there? What kind of shit show is this? Can we throw in the damn chart, please?
Relax. Yeah, I got it up.
I'm trying to relax, but you keep showing me.
You changed the slide. You changed the slides on the fly without warning, and I don't know that they've been changed.
Try to keep up. Let's go. 16.5 is really the level on the marathon. 17.5 on the riot. Below that's a mess. Tried to nibble a little bit this week, trying to anticipate that breakout. Couldn't happen. These are the levels, right? So I know we got some questions on the chat. If anybody has any questions at all on any of our trade ideas, whether it's crypto related or otherwise, it's allstarcharts.com/trades. Hey, and Spencer will drop the link there. It's all in there for sure.
Louis,
targets, risk levels, the whole thing.
Louis, have you seen what MicroStrategy's out here doing? Raising.
Buying what? It's like 750 million.
Saw that.
You gotta love him. You gotta respect Sailor. We've got that running gag internally that in 10 years, he's either going to be looked upon as an absolute genius or just an absolute lunatic.
Well, I think regardless of whether he's right or wrong, lunatic, I think we're good on that. I think we solidified his he's a lunatic. And Listen, I know lunatics that I love from the bottom of my heart. So I'm not saying this is a negative, but yes, the man is crazy. Now, is it a crazy genius or a crazy, set money on fire guy? I don't know.
The fact that he's been able to leverage his public company and leverage the capital market system here in the U.S. to do this, to literally raise money to invest in Bitcoin, is amazing.
Good for him.
It's a success story for U.S. capital markets, period. The fact
Can you
that
throw up the MicroStrategies, throw up the chart, MicroStrategies, and slide 17. And can we get it without the black screen of death, Spencer?
regardless of what happens, we will tell stories about this and this man in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's great for us, right? Because it essentially gives us a de facto ETF for those that want to get involved.
Exactly. Like we might not have an ETF, but we do, right? It might not be called an ETF, but for all practical purposes, from an execution standpoint, it is. So who gives a damn what we call it? Well, number one. Number two, there are people who don't like what he's doing, and that's okay. You don't have to be a shareholder, right? Nobody's putting a gun to your head and saying, oh my God, you have to, pay taxes and own MicroStrategy. Like, no, you have to pay taxes and then you can choose to own MicroStrategy. In fact, you can short MicroStrategy. Like if you really hate the guy so much, short it, knock yourself out.
So what is the story with all the spot ETFs? Maybe Spencer has to come on and remind me. Like, are they already launched or they just filed?
No, man, these communists don't let it happen.
As I understand it, the SEC has a drop dead deadline of the end of the year where they need to decide. What is there, like a dozen filings right now? They need to.
They're dragging feet on it. They're trying to slow the process up.
Well, drag feet or not, they have a deadline. So the deadline is the deadline. It's the end of the year, or maybe it might be early January. I'm not sure.
They went back to them like once or twice already and said this was wrong with the filing. You got to amend it, and they've been amending.
No, but they've pushed the deadline back to the as far as they can, and that's it. That's it now. So it's like by the end of the year, we're either going to have a few Bitcoin ETFs or it's not going to happen. I'm going to say.
Gun to your head.
Fortunately for us, we already have one, so who cares?
Yes, gun to my head, it happens.
But I should say, hold on. I'm gonna retract that. It's not that who cares, because
it's important.
I would argue that there is officially an ETF and not a Michael Saylor secondary issue driven stock, it's going to bring that institutional money flow. So I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It does 100%. Matter.
It's a huge deal. It does matter. So what do you think though? Like if you had to guess right now, is it going to happen or not? Are they going to let it go?
But downtown Matt Brown just said, I guess yes, this happened yesterday. They moved it to March. I thought it was the end of the year, but yeah, okay. I guess now the deadline is March. Okay, then. No,
the old hand.
I've always thought it's going to happen. It's not a question of.
Hold on. Can we throw up the Solana chart? Is this? Are we? I guess the Solana summer ain't happening. We only got a few more weeks left of summer.
Hang on, Strazza, I want to go back to MicroStrategy because do you still track the Bitcoin to market cap?
No, so we used to. I've done it before. I've calculated like the net Bitcoin value and backing out the liabilities, and then you can from there calculate the discount that the stock trades at, the discount to its Bitcoin. When I did it last time, it was something like 75%. But I haven't done it
so the market was essentially giving a negative valuation to the underlying business, or the other way around?
Well, if you remember last year when Bitcoin was in the bear market, there were all these spook stories about them defaulting on their debt, which was never real. But the stock, was trading at a significant haircut or valuation discount to its Bitcoin value. I don't know if that's still the case today. We should probably do the math, but I think there's probably still going to be more juice in MicroStrategy. This is another thing that we have to check the actual beta of it relative to Bitcoin, just due to the leverage, on their balance sheet. Right.
Yep. Not disagreements.
Can we talk about the Solana summer? What is it? Winter down in New Zealand?
It's winter. It's cold, man. I can't wait to get up to California.
How cold is it? How cold does it get in New Zealand? Excuse my ignorance. You're in northern New Zealand, first of all.
Yeah, and so I am in pretty much the warmest and sunniest part of New Zealand, but even now it's still a little bit cold. So it's about, well, you guys use Fahrenheit, so it's I don't know, maybe like 15 degrees on a regular winter day.
15 degrees
So
Fahrenheit.
that's Celsius.
So
Celsius.
what is that
Celsius,
Fahrenheit?
not Fahrenheit.
Can somebody tell me? I haven't taken a
I have
chemistry
no
class
idea.
in a long time. Sounds pretty
Strazza,
cold.
you know?
Sounds
Well,
pretty cold.
Sorry, I was zoning out looking at.
It's
Isn't
about
too bad.
59 degrees.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah,
I love the comments in the chat about the Bitcoin SEC stuff. This is great, guys. I don't know. Solana's got a clean level here.
Louis, are you gonna bring me some Pinot Noir, bro?
Oh, Louis, I
Yeah,
can't
man.
wait to see you, man. It's gonna be so much
Yeah,
fun.
no, it's gonna be great. And so,
Louis, how
in
tall
fact-
are you? How tall are you?
I'm 6'3", so I think I'm the tallest of the group.
That's not bad. That's not. You're not like freakishly tall. You're just like you got
But I'm
tall
like
guy game.
noticeably tall.
No, it sucks.
Dude.
I've done this before. I've had to walk around conferences with Alfonso. He's taller than me. Everybody's taller than me on this team. We got to find a short intern.
Well, we walk around with Giancarlo a lot.
For our next
Well,
analyst.
you had Evan.
There's
Is
this
he?
between us, you know.
Can we talk about the Solana summer? I don't know why you guys keep cutting me off.
There's
Is
a
it not
nothing to
happening?
talk about. Look at this. What are you gonna do there?
I still own way too
I
much.
like the alliteration. Solana summer. I love good alliteration. You know.
No,
Nothing?
because this was the thing. This was the thing. Look, there's got to expand. There has to be some sort of an expansion and participation if and when Bitcoin takes out 30, right? So I think we're doing the right thing by looking at these charts, but it's a moot conversation until Bitcoin takes out 30. I think then, look all day. Let's look through our alt universe, find the strongest ones, and I'm sure there will be some good vehicles there, but not yet. You can't touch this with Bitcoin not breaking out yet.
Yeah, and so it's that's a really important point, that in crypto markets, it's Bitcoin that drives everything.
Yeah.
Whereas in the stock market, you don't just have Apple goes up and the rest of the market goes up.
Yeah, good point.
Bitcoin drives everything, and with Bitcoin below 30K, longs are going to be tricky.
So basically, you're speaking to like typical market internals. In the stock market, it's not unusual for Apple or Microsoft, Tesla, the big guys to have a bad day, but then the value stocks and the banks and everything beneath the surface is working. We see it all the time, right? And we'll see it over like sustainable, like short and intermediate time frames when markets are rotating among sectors. In Bitcoin, the point you're making is it would be very strange to see a tape where Bitcoin is lower, but then you got all the alts kind of working and some really bullish internals beneath the surface, right? Bitcoin.
Does anybody else find it odd that Shiba Inu is the 14th largest cryptocurrency, coming in at $6 billion? Can you throw up that chart, little Shiba Inu? Slide 20 there, Spencer.
The dogs themselves are like incredibly trendy now too. Like I'm seeing.
I know. I've noticed
everywhere.
I kind of want one too. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, they're crazy cute. You know one when you see them because their faces. I mean, they're so.
Well, they're cuter now because of the Doge. I feel like
hilarious.
Yeah. Spencer just gets. I feel like his blood pressure rises of anger when he sees Shiba Inu as the 14th largest cryptocurrency, coming in at $6 billion in assets. Does that annoy you, Spencer?
Not enough decimal places on this one.
Hey,
need more decimal places.
Spencer, do you hate Elon Musk too?
Touche.
Do you hate Elon Musk?
No, hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong word. I don't.
Okay, but you don't like.
Spencer strongly dislikes SPACs and shitcoins. Am I right?
He's not a SPAC guy.
Yeah.
Is there anything less contrarian than talking crap about Elon Musk on Elon Musk's social media platform these days? Like, is there a way to like mute all? Everybody.
I don't know. Why is everyone so angry?
I don't know, man.
About what?
People are not angry.
Like
People
in general?
are not angry. People on Twitter are not representative of the overall population. Rachel, can I get a witness? Tell them, Rachel. It's not representative of the entire population. You give crazy people a blowhorn, they're going to use it.
The mainstream news is the same way, though. They're all just crap talking Twitter.
I hang out with normies all the time. They don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Most normal people aren't even on Twitter anyway. So yeah. Speaking of Elon. Speaking of Elon, am I meeting you guys in Rome for this fight? What's going on?
I think we might have to do it. I think we might have to go to Rome, the Coliseum, to see Zuck and Elon battle it out. I'll go. I'm down.
Who's your money on?
Here? Is it definitely happening? Like this is a thing for sure.
It's definitely happening as far as Elon Musk says so. He tweeted it.
If it's $1 billion, you're talking about $1 billion in revenue for this fight happening. If really $1 billion, and I believe it, it's gonna happen. That's a lot of money, bro.
Dude.
Well,
That's a
the
lot of
important
money.
question is who's your money on?
All right. Easily Zuck. Don't be crazy.
I'm thinking Zuck too.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
thinking
yeah,
Zuck
I
too.
mean, if Elon can train solid for a few months, is
I got my money on Zuck.
Dude,
Last
I
one.
mean-
Hold on, last one. Nobody gives a shit about this fight.
I think it'll be hilarious. You'll
I think
watch.
it'll be hilarious too. Can we last chart? Ripple. What are you thinking here?
He's still talking about shit coins, Louis.
Yeah, well, it's Crypto Friday, and we got Louis Sykes on the show. So yeah, I don't want to talk about Italy. How many times has Louis been to Italy? 0 times. So let's talk about something where he has been. And I have a funny feeling he's been in a shit coin or two over the years. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. You're definitely right on that one.
Fifth largest cryptocurrency, coming in at $33 billion in market cap. Hello.
You know how
I appreciate your enthusiasm, JC, but there's just not a whole lot to talk about.
No, you're not buying the dip in the Ripple?
I mean, you can if you wanted to find your risk there, but man, I feel like that's just setting yourself up for a headache.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying, so give it some more time, let it set up.
I mean, different time horizons, different risk appetites, of course. I mean, if you're, if you're highly tolerant of risk, go for it. The risk is defined at that form of resistance, but for me, I like swinging at the high conviction.
Is there anything in crypto, altcoin space, any of the equities that are related to crypto? Is there anything you want to buy right here, right now, today?
The fact that something doesn't immediately jump to my mind probably means that I don't.
Show Louis a chart of Coinbase. Do we have a Coinbase chart here?
I can get one Coinbase chart.
Louis,
we look at every day.
I mean, you can be tactical with some of these trades. I mean, Coinbase,
they stuck below overhead supply. What's there to do here?
No, it's not, because you're drawing
that's why I said you can be tactical. But again,
you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me it's not stuck below overhead supply.
I've been drawing.
Throw slide one. Throw slide one to show these fools.
No, dude, I've been drawing resistance on this chart the same level since last year at 84. That's where we have it drawn. That's where we've been drawing it.
I don't know what this we is. Can you just throw this chart up? Spencer, slide one.
Coinbase over the
slide one. Stuck below overhead supply. Am I seeing it wrong?
Yeah, you are, because your rectangle is drawn in the wrong place. Alfonso, can you help JC out here? Oh boy. I'll mark
JC need to reset the CMT.
No, I know what this guy. Listen, are you kidding me?
Seriously.
Look here. This is what Strazza's talking about here. Throw up the new slide one here.
How many touches are on your resistance level? How many touches are on mine?
Hold on. I'm throwing it up there. Slide one.
I'm with Strazza on this one.
Not crazy. We've seen price react here time and time again.
Hey,
people, this is why technical analysis is an art, not a science.
Yep. Look, this is why some people make money and some people don't. This is a great trade here. You could trade this right from this, mid to low 80s level right back to the highs at 110.
So what do you think, Sean? Risk reversal? Are we getting paid to sell the 80 puts, Sean? Sell the 80 puts and buy the 120s? Woo! That's aggressive. I like it though. I'm not putting it on,
but right, like I think one day never makes a trend, but we have to think about yesterday, what were the Bitcoin miners telling us? Because these stocks got absolutely rocked. I know it well because I'm very much in them. Riot was down over 8%. Bitcoin didn't move. So either these guys are getting off sides here and there'll be a nice big catch-up trade higher if, God forbid, Bitcoin ever does resolve higher, or these guys are kind of tipping the hat to where that coil in Bitcoin is headed.
Shawnee baby, we selling the 80s? Selling the 80 puts on Coinbase? Or is that a little too wild? Is Sean still in the chat? I saw Sean in the chat. How much are we getting paid to sell the 80 puts? Sell like the I don't know, maybe the October, November 80 puts, something like that. And if we put on a risk reversal, do we necessarily need to sell the same expiration that we buy? Is the other question. I don't, if we can sell some 80 puts and buy calls, give us more time, right? Throwing that out there. It's not a terrible idea.
And another thing too is like Coinbase is really, we're talking about two different things right now. I'm sorry, but Coinbase is really diverging a lot from Bitcoin. You know, these
Yep.
the stocks have come off a lot.
You get that quite a lot.
Yeah, especially just over like a couple weeks, right? And that's all this is.
Yep.
Sean sold the 75 puts and he bought the 95 calls. When did you do that?
See, dude, we're getting some action out here.
When did Sean
Boys
do
are
that?
getting
I didn't get the memo.
you're out here.
Options jam session.
Damn. I
Selling
gotta
and
get
apples.
those jam sessions. All right. Louis, you gotta go. I appreciate you being here, buddy. Sweet man bun. I look forward to eating some tacos with you. Have you ever eaten a taco?
I don't think I haven't eaten a California taco, so I haven't really eaten a taco.
Have you ever eaten a taco?
I don't know. They don't have Mexicans in New Zealand.
Oh God. All right, Louis, I can't wait to see you, man.
All right.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. We should
See
do
you
this more
later.
often.
Yeah.
Later.
All right.
All right.
Adios.
All right.
Louis Sykes in the house.
So, some international flavor on the show today.
Oh, that's good.
And yesterday we had Joel Panico.
That's true. That's true.
And then Caleb Franzen was in Romania or wherever the hell he was. Look at us, very international this week. Look at us.
We're so cultured. All right. It's 9:17. Man, time flies when you're having
We
fun.
got to get Louis a burrito, bro. We got to introduce him to some Mexicans.
Let's see what Kimmy's up to here. She's always up to something.
Kimmy.
Good morning.
Busy
Good morning,
day.
sunshine.
Busy day
Good
for
morning.
you.
Look at your shirt, JC. It's
You like it?
uh,
You like it?
wild. I like it.
Are you just being nice? My wife hates it.
Be nice.
You're gonna wear that on your show? Are you really gonna wear that? And people are gonna see it? That's how she talks.
Are you gonna wear it on the show? She's like,
That's
what?
what she says. She hates it. She thinks it's so ugly.
Oh
You
my
bought that?
God.
I didn't buy that for you. Yeah, you know
Oh
how
my
that
gosh.
is.
Funny.
Okay, Kimmy, you were busy yesterday.
Yes.
To say the
Yeah.
least.
Let's see.
We were busy.
CrowdStrike, Nike, Valero, Home Depot, Lululemon, the IWM. A lot of shorts, few longs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, 2 losses, 6 for 8. Not too shabby. Not
I had
too
2 other
shabby.
trades in there that I recommended. Baba, which I missed. Remember I talked about yesterday morning. I missed the whole trade. And Tesla for a couple points. You know, when you talk in trade, it's difficult. Sometimes you just miss stuff. You miss your own ideas. I'm staring at it, but I'm looking at the screen, putting in the order, trying to find other names. And then just sometimes you just, you know, you just can't execute it quick enough, or you're doing, you know, it's like multitasking. I'm pretty good, but I can't get it all.
Kimmy, you know, I'm really liking this Qualcomm short. Can you walk me through what you're seeing here on the old
We have to-
Qualcomm?
Yeah, you know, we're gapping down, right? So where is it right now, Qualcomm? All right. So obviously
I got it down a stick, 114.5.
Okay, so now I have to see. So now we're gapping down. That's the hard part, right? Is it going to be a gap and go, or do they gap and bounce it back to like the low of the day at like 115, yesterday's low, and then reverse it? You know, PPI this morning, are they going to just do an oversold bounce today, or keep pushing lower? So we're in a little bit of a tough spot. You know, you have it, you know, Qualcomm the most. If you did try to short it, it does look good, but it needs to stay below 119 for a potential move down to like 111, like 60 or so. But you know, watch the resistance, watch your stops. You know, you just have to, you have to mind your own positions and your own stops. So everyone,
Yeah.
you know.
And
What else is on the radar? What else is on the radar for today, other than the Qualcomm?
Yep. So I'm watching the SPYs here to see if they could push lower and fill the gap down to 442.97. They have not. The Qs did fill their closest gap. IWMs filled their gap yesterday. You know, in the room yesterday, I already signed off a Zoom, but I was still there. I said IWM has potential to go to 190.08, 190.09 for a potential short down. So anyone could have taken that in the room. I did hop off Zoom at that point, but I did take the trade. But I lured the room on it. So we'll see if SPYs do push lower to that level. Qualcomm. Microsoft is right in between. It's right there. So I'd love to see a push down to the gap at like 316.50 or so, you know. We'll see if it gets that extra push down.
I like how
you know?
Kimmy uses her hand as like
I
support.
know. It's like I talk with my hands.
I like it.
You have to see me if you probably saw me trading. I'm like talking to myself in between.
That's okay.
Kimmy, out of curiosity, how many screens do you have?
Just 2.
What?
What's in front of me now? And some people have like 10 screens, all these traders. I have what's in front of me now, and then to the right, so I could see what everyone in the room is asking me, and my order entry screen. So I toggle back and forth. So sometimes people ask me, that's, you miss stuff because I'm looking here, I'm entering my order, and, and I want to see what people are asking me too, So
Two screens. Need more screens, Kimmy.
Contrary to popular belief, the more screens you have doesn't necessarily make you a better trader.
I thought it did.
It does?
I don't know. All right, guys, if you want to join Kimmy's room, she's there every single day calling out her trades as she's making them and talking through ideas live through the open. We just lost JC. That's all right. The link is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's also in the chat. It's also in the description. I don't know how else to give it to you, so check it out. She's there every single day. Kimmy, have a good one. Go make some money.
Have a good one, guys. Have a nice weekend.
All right, you too. All right, we just lost JC. Oh, there he's back now. And
what are you talking about? I was here the whole time.
And then Strazza is somewhere getting, I don't know what he's doing, but anyway. Oh, there he is. Okay, everyone's back. We have not talked about at all today is any newsy related moves. I wanted to cover one real fast. It's the top stock of the morning, and it's Archer Aviation, ACHR. It's like the one SPAC of the hundreds that have SPAC'd or de-SPAC'd in the last 3 or so years. The one that
what does that mean, SPAC'd or de-SPAC'd?
The de-SPAC is when you convert from a SPAC to the merger has when the merger happens, right? So then you've converted, so you've de-SPAC'd, you've converted to the new company.
20%.
Yeah, this is the one that's not looking. I mean, this year is having a very good year, is my point. Anyway, there was some news here overnight on this one. There was a lawsuit. Boeing was suing them, and they not only did they settle that lawsuit, but Boeing is also investing $215 million into this company now. So litigation settled, new investment. That's great because they're a Uber for helicopters, and they need money. So that combined with their earnings report last night, the stock is up 20% in the pre-market session, and that's your top stock of the morning. I know it's
still stuck below those former highs. What is that? Is that from last week? Yeah, from last week. As long as we're below that, that takes us all the way back to the end of 21, right?
Yes.
Stuck below that overhead supply. And even with the pre-market move this morning, up 20%, right around that 7 level. A lot of market memory here. A breakout here, and then we're talking. And this one's sitting right around, just for fun, right around $1.5 billion. And then with today's move, probably about 1.7, 1.8 billion, something like that.
Strazza, you like this one, don't you? Or you've said, I mean, maybe you don't like the stock or the chart, but you like the company.
No, I will see your Archer Aviation and raise you an Arch Coal. That's the one that I like.
Heyo.
Arch. Yeah, I think that's what you're thinking of.
Oh, am I? Oh, okay.
Arch Coal looks like, it looks kind of just like the, if you talk about how MicroStrategy is the de facto ETF for Bitcoin, you can argue maybe Arch Coal is that for coal potentially. Oh. Here, throw up slide 1. Dropping it right there. Throw up slide 1. There's your Arch Coal. Throw that up there, Spencer. There's the Arch Coal. There is no coal ETF because the geniuses over at Van Eck, that they shut down their coal ETF KOL right when you needed it the most.
Yeah. Listen.
Pretty much right at that late 2020 level when it first started breaking out. That's when they delisted the ETF. Just when we finally needed it.
We do have some small to mid cap liquid options in terms of individual stocks. Arch is nice, kind of stuck in a range here. Same with Peabody, BTU. My favorite one right now is AMR. It looks just like CEIX, which we've talked about this week. It just hasn't broke out quite yet. It's right there. So there are a handful, maybe 10 coal stocks that you could kind of pick and choose from if you are looking to get some sort of an exposure to this sector.
Can we talk about? Can we do a little hot corner? Little hot corner.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready.
So hot right now.
Breakfast.
So hot.
Hot corner. So hot right now.
So
I'm not gonna lie. When this email came out, I thought it was referring to Sean. I thought it was like an options email that went out or something like that.
why? What was the subject?
The subject was Stephen McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Founder
this
of
is-
FT Partners.
Yeah, this is Sean and my brainchild, Stephen McLaughlin. We talked about him the other day here. This was the one where I said, hey, these guys get it wrong sometimes. Like, look at this guy. He came in and bought the stock just before it plunged like 20-something% on earnings. He's probably building some sort of big position, right? And was very aware that earnings were coming out. Yeah, throw the chart up. So that's what happened. He bought it right before this breakdown. Now he's out here buying more. He's a private equity guy, I believe. Yeah, so that's what they do. Back to the table. Can't touch this one. It's ugly.
Nasty.
Back to the table. We also
Interesting. No regional banks today. That's odd. We've been seeing a lot of that lately.
No, but we were talking just the other day about VFC Corporation, right? Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein Company. So they made the list today. Richard Carucci is the chairman over there. Used to be the chairman of Yum Brands. So that one stands out. And then Jana Partners, right? Big hedge fund, been around forever. Great track record. They're in this AKRO, Akiro Therapeutics. Chart's not bad if you want to throw that one up.
And then also the OPCO again, right? Seen a lot of it. I mean, it's a Piker purchase, but there's been a lot of purchases there, haven't there?
It's the same guy buying the same stock that he's been buying for a decade now. I'm telling you, this is not even looking twice at these OPCO purchases anymore. I do like the other biotech on here, though, KNSA. That one will give you a clean level if you're looking to get in. Nice little reversal pattern working out there. Huge candle late in July on earnings, about 30%, breaking out above the pivot highs from last November and summer of 2021 even. So I think the reversal's on here. You could define your risk right there. Don't we have the chart, KNSA?
KNSA, biotechnology, $1 billion from Bermuda.
All right, 1 second.
From Bermuda.
God.
Have you ever been to Bermuda?
I have not been to Bermuda. I don't think so.
You don't think you've been to Bermuda? You
I
don't even
went
know
on
if
these
you've been there?
cruises. I went on these cruises as a kid where we went to all these different places, and I don't think Bermuda was.
No, well, Bermuda's like so isolated, so you have to go.
Bermuda's up north. It's like east of the Carolinas, DC.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really far. It's not.
Not every island is in the Caribbean. You know that, right? There's other islands in other parts of the world.
It's far away.
That's terrible. All right. KNSA, here it is, pretty clean above that 16 level. So,
why the line chart? Who made this? What's the reason behind the line chart?
I love a good line chart, and usually the way we do it is I'll send Alfonso a chart in TradingView, and then he'll mark it in Optima because the charts are so much prettier there. And I don't know, maybe I sent the line chart.
Okay, so no, no, because sometimes like with ADRs or something like that, there's so many. It's so gappy.
Well, this is the same thing. It's a biotech.
It's not gappy. I'm looking at a weekly chart. It's pretty clean.
No, it's not gappy, but it's volatile, right?
All right, and they're off. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about the this goose, Canada goose.
You got one?
A lot of people wearing this. Stock sucks, dude.
I mean, it's almost autumn over there. Are you going to get one of these goose jackets? Remember, these were so trendy, like way too long ago, and the stock probably came public too late. Yeah, you could see it in the chart. 2017, everybody was buying these geese things. They're big, man. They're bulky. I wouldn't even have room for that.
When was the IPO? 2017.
You live in the Florida Keys, so there's not really a lot of reason. You're buying like snorkels and shit, not goose jackets, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Mattel. What about Mattel?
like a good goose feather pillow.
What about Mattel?
Is this the toy company? We're talking about the toy company?
Yeah, Barbie.
Yeah, not Mattel, the steel company.
I wonder if they make any money off of this new movie. They should.
They
With
will.
Barbie?
Yeah. They will. It's a question of, can they repeat it? Which is, I don't know.
Western Union, bro. How does this thing still exist?
Is everybody going back to work in Hollywood yet? What's the latest?
No. There's quite the opposite. It's basically no progress.
Good. They weren't really doing anything anyway. They were just finding old movies and redoing it.
No, to the Western Union point, people still use that for remittance stuff. That's still a pretty common way to send money if you have family in certain parts of the world.
Are you kidding me? If you're using Western Union, your life has gone horribly.
A lot of people.
No, it's not. You're wrong, JC. I know people use it.
A lot of people use it. It's.
Can you throw up slide 1 to prove my point that nobody uses it?
No, you're right, Spencer. It is a thing.
Wow.
And
I'm right twice in one day. Holy crap!
They send
Go ahead.
just money. Western Union will actually help send more than just money.
Shut up, Boomer. Can you throw the slide up? Look at this thing. Come on. Nobody uses it. Nobody uses it.
I'm saying
The market is a voting mechanism, and the market is telling both of you that nobody uses this shit. Western Union, bro?
in the third world, there's no Venmo. You know what I mean?
No, man. They're using the Bitcoin. They're using the Lightning Network.
Get real.
What?
Spencer's so right here.
Can we get a chart of dollar amount transferred on Western Union versus the Lightning Network? Can I get a chart on that?
No.
Why not? We might not have it ready, but it exists. Can we have that for the next Crypto Fridays?
So FedEx Cup playoffs are underway. Some good golf on this weekend.
Does somebody think it's recess time?
No, hold on. Sorry, I'm catching up on the chat. Yeah. I mean, they have PayPal for that too, but no, Western Union is anyway. Moving on from that.
Wait, hold on.
Western Union.
Terrence in the chat is asking for our daily Disney segment. Spencer, that's take the lead on that.
Good day yesterday. Am I right or am I right? I mean, I don't know.
Western Union, $4.5 billion market cap. That's crazy.
Wait, do we have a
This
slide?
thing has 0 written all over it.
Maybe. No, but Spencer is right. It's a thing in a lot of these developing countries around the world. They use it frequently, regularly.
Immigrants, thank you. Who said that in the chat? Terrence, thank you. Terrence.
Yes.
Use the Lightning
That's
Network.
right, Terrence.
All right. Hey, chart report. Let's see what's going on there. What?
Hold on.
What?
Oh, wait,
Hold
so
on.
no, wait, guys.
You didn't even give people the opportunity to get the
So
hot corner.
Western
Oh.
Union just
One
came
second.
across our option scan, literally at 9. Why does this say 9:41? It's not. Is it 9:34 here? Oh, this was yesterday. Got it. This was from. Yeah. All right.
It's in the future.
I'm looking at my forum upside down right now.
Yeah, this came here. This is why we brought it up. I'm not just bringing up
Oh, I
Western
thought it got
Union.
hit again. I know. All right.
If you want to get the hot corner, guys, it's a free daily note. Goes out every single day, highlighting all the biggest trades from Washington to Wall Street to the boardrooms. Email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com. Put a hot corner in the name or the subject so we know what you're talking about, and that's how you can get the hot corner. All right, let's go to the chart report.
Guys, we got the
Yeah.
Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey today.
Great.
Who's we?
Big deal.
Great.
Who's we?
What? I didn't.
Just because Spencer lived in Michigan doesn't mean we need to talk about their surveys.
Yeah, no. Even I never cared about that. All right. Chart of the day. Larry Thompson, who Larry, if you're watching, I'm going to send you a DM. I have been meaning to reach out to get you on the show. On my ever expanding to do list. Chart of the day. Nasdaq. Get off the mat, Nasdaq. Let's go.
It's not going to get off the mat anytime soon, so I wouldn't hold your breath. Can we talk about the quote of the day? The homie Ben Graham. Ben Graham getting a shout out. Ben Graham, closet technician, by the way. Few people know that. The intelligent investor is a realist who sells to optimists and buys from pessimists. If that's not a technician talking, then I don't know what is.
Hey, shout out to you and Strazza both making the chart report today or yesterday.
Heyo.
Right? Where's Strazza?
Here we go.
Did I tweet a chart?
Yeah. There you go.
You did a thing.
Oh.
You did a thing, Strazza.
Listen, this one, if I could just speak to it real quickly. Yeah,
Good
so
one.
this is what, we were all over this inflation peak long before most last year. This was one of the, bigger pieces of information in making that call when we did. So inflation peaked from a CPI perspective. The year-over-year growth rate peaked in June of 2022 at over 9%, right? It's like one of the biggest readings in like 50 years. You guys remember all those headlines. We've been moving steadily lower since. If you overlay a chart of commodities or gasoline with CPI, they look very similar. Why? Because they're almost one and the same. CPI is made up of about 40% commodity prices, right? So the price change in commodities will drive that CPI reading. It just shows up in the commodity price index first because we get that information every day rather than on a lag, and then it gets revised. So this month, for the first time since last June, we ticked higher. The year-over-year growth rate in CPI moved up from last month, this month, for the first time in more than 12 months, 13, 14 months here. So the question we should be asking ourselves is if these reversal patterns in things like gasoline and crude oil are the real deal, and those prices are moving higher in the future, how high does inflation move from here? But it looks like we are getting at least some sort of reacceleration in the inflation rate for now. So the last year of disinflation seems to be over, and we're entering another inflationary environment like we were in last year.
Well, that's what July indicated, but that's 1 month of data in the whole basket.
You're not listening to what I'm saying then.
Okay,
the reversal patterns in commodities are going to drive the CPI in the future, right? And if gasoline,
the CPI is so laggy and calculated incorrectly. That thing sucks.
Listen, they change it when it doesn't give them the answer that they want. That's what CPI is.
Well,
That's what communism is.
You just focus on the core. Forget the CPI. Talk about the core.
No, it's not that simple either. Because excluding energy, why? Go back and read a history book as to why they did that.
I used to know once upon a time. I've long since forgotten. But yeah, there was a reason. I don't know.
It's like why we don't get farm payrolls. Nobody cares about the farmers no more.
That makes a little bit more sense intuitively. They would be so inaccurate. They're not worth reporting, right?
But isn't like farming like 1% of the economy or something like that? It used to be like half the economy, like 70 years ago.
But it's also probably 1% on the books, right? So there's no sense in reporting non-farm payrolls if everybody's going to lie about it.
You mean farm payrolls?
Farm payrolls, sorry.
All right, guys, get the chart report. It's free. It's free. Goes out every single day. And the link is on the bottom of the screen. The link is also in the chat and the description. And there's a QR code if you're more of a QR code kind of person. And there you go.
Sorry, Spencer. Just to maybe finish my point here, JC is usually pretty interested in housing and real estate markets because he wants to.
I'm interested.
You care. You want to see a good real estate headline every now and then. I know you do.
I want real estate to crash. Are you kidding me? What are you talking about?
So on that, you're right. So in line with what you just said, it seems like I was looking at the CPI breakdown yesterday, right? What contributes to the measurement of CPI that they report every month? It's about 40% commodities, and then it's about 35% housing, or they call it shelter, right? And then there's other strange stuff like some sort of non-commodity services and medical stuff that makes up the remainder. But I think we're going to enter a situation in the coming quarters where just based on the price action, we look at a lot of commodity futures charts, right? And we're looking at energy stocks too. I think commodities are going to move higher. So you're going to have upward inflationary pressures from the commodities. That 40% is going to be moving higher, right? And energy is probably a lot more important than most, but there's also like food. Food is about 13% in there. So agricultural commodities are probably going to drive CPI higher, but shelter is now really coming down in a notable way. And that's the other 35%. So you're going to have downward inflationary pressure from shelter, from the real estate prices coming down, and then upward pressure from commodities. And what that CPI number, that headline number actually looks like is going to maybe depend on, which one is moving faster in whatever direction, or that leftover 15% or so from medical things and other items in the CPI report. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what the inflation numbers look like, in the next few months.
You know what's crazy? I was seeing the average rent in a New York City apartment up near 4,500. The median up near 5,300.
5,000.
Over 5,000 in the median. In 20 years ago, I had a studio apartment, like a pretty sizable, like one of the they call it, it's a one like the L. There's a name for it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the L type of studio?
No, not for me. I don't know.
There's a name. There's a name for the L versus just a square. Anyway, I
Yeah,
had a studio,
yeah.
doorman building, 34th Street and Park Avenue, 4 Park Avenue, 34th and Park, with a view of the Empire State Building. $2,200 a month.
I lived on Park
20 years
Avenue. I lived on
20
Park
years
Avenue.
ago?
Wait, how much was it?
$2,200 for the studio.
Okay, so what are you saying? It's doubled.
I'm just putting some perspective on things. I'm not necessarily saying any. I'm not necessarily making a point, as I am kind of comparing. You know, so I could have probably gotten. I could have probably gotten a walk up somewhere for maybe $1,400, $1,600 maybe.
20. So 2,200 20 years ago was 3,700 today.
Yeah, so that's not. You know, you were doing
Well,
okay.
then things are more expensive. Then, in other words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Alcove.
Prices go. Prices go up.
No, alcove. I like that. Prices go up with inflation. This is outperforming inflation. By the way, my Hoboken apartment was a 3-bedroom apartment on top of a bar on 5th and Grand. For those of you who are familiar with Hoboken, I lived on top of 3A's. If you remember that place, great lobster ravioli, and I paid $1,800 for 3 bedrooms. So that means $600 a pop. This is right after college.
You know,
Anyway.
Jersey City is a very practical option these days. Also, I worked there for a little bit on
Very
audit.
trendy.
It's lovely. You know, if you work in Lower Manhattan, it's easy, very doable.
Hoboken's way better, dude.
Of course it is, but listen, Jersey City came from a bad place, right, Spencer?
So did Hoboken.
Growing up, there was literally only one. There's one reason and one reason only to go there. That is if you had a field trip to the State Theater. That was literally the only reason.
I thought you were going to say to buy drugs. I had a buddy who went
as a child.
Yeah, my buddy went to college there. It's no good even back then.
What schools in Jersey City?
I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, let's go back to the stocks. We had we had like one earnings that we did this morning. We had Ion Q was the
We
one.
don't bumper the earnings anymore.
I'm trying to find the chart. There it is.
Come on,
yeah, I mean we can bumper. I mean, you want to bumper just for one? We can bumper for one.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
All right.
Give him some love.
Stevens.
Right, here's my Ion Q chart. Not my chart. When I say my chart, I mean Alfonso's chart. Obviously. There's that one. Kind of the only notable report from the overnight session. It is up this morning about 10% on this report. Beat and a beat.
Wow.
So
This thing moves, man.
It's been working. We got long this one, an 8 and change after the base broke out. Headed to our second price target. It looks like now if we're above 1550.
I'm sorry, EPS miss, bottom line miss, sales beat, and a guidance number. Well, that's in line with the estimate. So nothing. I don't know.
Anyway. Spencer, fun fact: based in College Park, Maryland. Hello.
Yeah, we've talked about this one before. Yeah.
This is Spencer's alma mater.
When I see Q, I just think Chinese.
College Park, lovely this time of year.
College Park is basically never lovely. But, yeah.
I had a buddy who went to school there too.
Yeah.
I have a lot of buddies that went to school there.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Rob Hood says Stevens is in Jersey City. That's where my dad went. Anyway,
he just said it. Where you been?
Pay attention.
I was trying to find the chart. Okay.
I got
what else is on my list here? We got Ion Q.
Disney.
You know who else reported? We don't have the chart for it. You guys know what Soho House is? Yeah, you do, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there. I always love that this company is publicly traded. SOHO. I don't know why I find it so interesting. It's basically just an influencer hotel, right? I looked up the membership rates this morning. They're like $4,000 or $5,000 a year to be a member at this hotel. Anyway,
yeah,
SOHO.
It's not the whole. It's like bars and stuff like that. I used to go hang out there. It was like in where was it? Down in the Village or in Soho or something?
I worked.
Well, there's a few.
One of the companies that
I used to be when I used to party back in the old days.
Yeah. You go and hang out at the rooftop bars on those nice buildings downtown.
Yeah. Okay, Strazza, you apparently requested some charts, and we have them ready.
No, Disney was for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
There's an Uber headline here about the NFL. Did you hear this?
No.
Uber and the NFL. I did not hear that. No.
What's Hy-V?
Hy-Vee, the store?
Yeah.
Hive blockchain?
Hy-V grocery.
Yeah, the grocery store. It's in the South.
Uber offers exclusive NFL experience to launch Hy-V for on-demand grocery delivery. I don't know what that means. I'll have to go to the press release.
Wait, speaking of the NFL, huge news in my world today. If you're a big fan of the NFL Red Zone, they're going to offer it now over the top. You don't need a cable subscription, $16 a month. Anyway, okay. Hy-Vee.
But you only get the red zone. You don't get the actual games.
I'm with you on that, JC. I can't do that. I need to watch
correct.
the game. You need the continuity of the full game. I want to see what's going on in between plays.
They stop in commercials and in the breaks. They tell you what's going on in the other games, Spencer. You know that, right? And they even have like the scrolling thing with the scores.
Not enough.
I think you did well. It's a fantasy guy thing. If fantasy's your thing, fine, red zone. But if
you know what you can do, you get 2 TVs going. Yeah. You get the main game you want to watch, and then you can have a side, a little side piece there for the red zone.
That's right. Or
not
just it out on your computer. Get a little appy or a tablet.
Yeah, a little appy. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I'm going to bring up these charts that Strazza had asked for.
I don't remember, so you're going to have to remember.
Was console up there or in call? Would you ask for?
I think it's important we should show CEIX and AMR.
Yeah, all right. I got that here.
So look, these coal stocks look really interesting right now. If we're going to get some sustained rotation into these cyclical groups, and if these reversal patterns and things like crude oil and gasoline are real, these are the kind of opportunities you want to be looking for. It's not just oil and gas stocks. Include coal in that universe. There are some better looking charts, I would argue, in coal than even oil gas services right now. So CEIX is one of them. Go ahead.
Coal is like it's like owning the miners in Bitcoin, right? You can own energy, and that's like owning Bitcoin, or you can own coal, which is like owning the little miners.
Listen,
right?
Yes. There's beta here. It's a beta play. It's got more juice than most. And listen, oil and gas stocks will give you some juice. All these commodity stocks do. Coal is just like one of the more aggressive ways to go about doing that, which is why I'm so interested in the industry group. Also, just fundamentally, we won't get into that, but coal is still a thing and is going to be a thing for a long time. And these companies are going to keep making money from it. And look, they're not in any indexes. There are no ETFs. Institutions are afraid of them. If God forbid that ever changed, I mean, there's a massive tailwind in terms of like incremental buyers for these stocks that have been outlawed by so many portfolios. No,
outlawed instead of that ESG scam. Can we talk about this ESG scam?
No,
who was it that just dropped their ESG? Who was it?
It was State Street did something.
One
I
of
don't know
them.
if that's what you're referring to.
Let's just reiterate. This was one of the greatest scams in the history of Wall Street. Yeah. They're like, look, these idiots are so bad at math. We're going to convince them that by losing money in their portfolio, they're going to save the planet. And these idiots are going to believe that. And they did.
They also took advantage of the political environment, JC, right? We had the thing like the girl in Sweden, whatever she's doing and talking about. This was a very popular trend socially, right? And Wall Street saw that and said, we got to make money off
Good for them.
Right?
Good for them.
I mean, I think yesterday was actually the anniversary of like the birth of the first... The precursor to the ESG. It was like the first index that invested based off these principles. It was like 30 or 40 years ago.
Dude, they made a lot of money, man.
Oh, crazy. Yeah.
And you had to be like, to buy this stuff, like you had to really suck at math to be like, oh, this is a good idea.
So let's speak seriously about, how can we help ourselves make money off of this trend? We know Wall Street
it was BlackRock.
Really took advantage of the situation, and ESG is fraud, for lack of a better term. Stocks like Arch or CEIX or any of these coal stocks have been left out, literally X'd out of universes, uninvestable. So if this ESG thing is kind of rolled back, right? I mean, the government's involved. Your 401ks have ESG mandates on them. You might not even know. People just don't have access to stocks like this. So if this trend has peaked and rolled over in ESG, coal stocks, you better believe, we'll see more flows than they're used to seeing in the past, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now that it's obvious to everybody what a fraud that is, and you don't have to like put it lightly. It's fraud. And by publicly traded companies, by the way, greenwashing their freaking data.
And here's what's changed, right? Like the narrative around this has changed drastically. If we came up here and said what you just said or what I just said, that ESG is a fraud 2, 3, 4 years ago, I wouldn't have wanted to.
We did.
We wrote a post about it. We were loud about it. We got a lot of emails about it. It was a thing because that was a very unpopular opinion to have back then. Now, everybody's come around, or people that used to run the ESG departments at BlackRock and other places who are now out publicly speaking poorly about, like,
But it was
thing.
obvious then.
I know, but the public had to come around to it.
People are dumb.
Hold on. So
The
speaking
idea
of,
is you want to buy the companies that hurt the environment the most.
all right, wait. Speaking of ESG, ESG kind of popularized the idea of maybe not popularized, but carbon credits. Right, you can get paid for not doing something. I saw. I read Matt Levine's note every day from Bloomberg. He's and Riot Blockchain. 20% of their revenue last quarter, they made for not mining Bitcoin. They got basically electricity credits.
Yeah.
Right. So credits for not using electricity to not mine Bitcoin, and they're a Bitcoin miner, and they got paid. They made 20% of their revenue just for not mining Bitcoin, getting paid to not do the thing that they do.
Listen, I'm for carbon credits, right? Because it adds some transparency to this market and organizes it in some way.
The thing is, if you're going to stop drilling and stop Americans from doing things, they're just going to go do it in Africa, and they're going to go do it in Venezuela, and they're going to go destroy the earth over there. So, like, you're not helping things. Like, just let the Americans do it. They're going to do it better than the others.
Yeah, carbon credits are how elites can keep flying private. I mean, listen, it is this carbon credit market, as much as it is an environmentalist thing, like, it's capitalism at its finest, right?
Yeah.
They're picking and choosing. They're letting kind of economics determine, or the individual economics of these businesses and companies to determine who wants to pay for that credit because they have the best opportunity. Okay, so they'll be the ones to pollute. That's what it's doing.
Did you talk at all when you were over there, Strazza, about where was it, Singapore with the canola oil? Was it Singapore?
Palm oil. So
palm oil. Sorry.
Was
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Big thing. Actually, it was so cool because we did prepare to talk about crude palm oil markets, CPO market. And the man who presented right before me did his whole presentation on it. So I just got to sit there and learn so much about it in real time.
Right.
No, it's huge. In fact, if you talk to Malaysian traders and say, what are you mostly trading out here? It's not unusual to get CPO as the answer. Like, it's huge market out there. That's crude palm oil.
Hey, you know what I haven't mentioned in a while? Have you guys signed up to get our documentary when it comes out? Because if you haven't, you really should. On Wall Street to all streets. It's the reason we sent Strazza and Sean and Giancarlo to Asia for most of July, frankly.
Yeah. I got a special onesie in Tokyo that I'll wear to the watch party.
We are hard at work right now, compiling and editing footage and organizing it all. It's gonna be a process, but
has kittens on it.
We're gonna be hosting watch parties, and we're gonna be sending this. It's all about. It's not just about going to Asia. That's that wasn't the point. Obviously, it was about what can we learn from investors and traders on the other side of the world, and as far as how they approach markets. How are we similar? How are we different? How can we use their ideas to make money on our end? Right. So that's the thing. That's the whole point of it. And it's going to be freaking amazing. So there's the link. It's in the chat. It's in the description. It's on the screen. Sign up and we will tell you when we are ready to start.
That was
live
great,
with this
Spencer. Matt, no, we're not sleeping on Marriott. We talked about it 2 days ago. I'm sleeping at Marriott, though. I'm so bullish. I am Marriott Bonvoy member now. I got the app on my phone. I think if we ever do another trip like this, JC, we call these hotels. They have like sales departments that like do special things for businesses, and maybe like they could sponsor us, and we just stay at all Marriotts or something like that. I don't want to trigger you talking about the hotels in Asia, but it's just something I haven't.
I can't even with you. Can we do a little? Can we do it because we're getting some requests for our recess? Can we throw that up there? Let's go.
Run the bumper, Spencer.
Run the bumper.
We are not getting requests for recess. I see what you see.
Yes, we are.
Golf and sushi.
We are.
Go.
We
Sushi,
are.
new all-time highs.
All right.
All right. So, fun fact about sommeliers: sommeliers are acid whores. is what we like to call it.
Wow.
I've noticed. So
Wow.
looking for acid, if you look at something like a Viognier, sommeliers hate Viognier because it's so low acid. I don't hate Viognier. I'm just something that I've noticed over the years. Throw up, I want to talk about high acid wines. We're going to talk about German Riesling from the Mosel. Some people think that, Riesling is sweet and, Riesling doesn't taste good because it's so sweet. The Germans send all their sweet wine to the Americans because the Americans, they love their sugar. In Germany, they're drinking the dry Rieslings. They'll do some sweet Rieslings for dessert. Off dry is what is the proper nomenclature. So if you're looking for an off dry wine from Mosel in Germany to go with your dessert, go with a ready Trockenbeerenhaus Lese. Trockenbeerenhaus Lese. I can actually even spell that. So I would encourage you, or you can go with a Beerenhaus Lese, but I would encourage you to go with the Trockenbeerenhaus Lese or dessert. But Riesling goes with so many things. You got dry Riesling. You got Chinese food. Get a Riesling going, right? You just got a little glass of wine before dinner. Get yourself a nice Riesling. You got spicy food, Thai food, like just spicy. Get yourself a nice German Riesling from the Mosel. I would encourage you to go to YouTube so you can see what the Mosel looks like. They put all of the vines along the river because in order to get the grapes ripe enough to increase their sugar levels to be able to convert that into alcohol, they need not only the sun but the reflection off the river as well in order to get the grapes ripe enough to harvest. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Riesling is not a sweet wine. If it is, you're drinking the wrong Riesling. I would encourage you to get some German Riesling from the Mosel.
Yeah, I hate the sweet wines. So Mosel's a place?
It's a river.
It's a river.
And a region, therefore, within Germany, close to France. So you can go there. They got some good wine in Alsace, too, which is technically part of France. The Alsatians are always changing their mind. One century they're German, the next century they're French, the next century they're German. So they're just Alsatian, and they do some really nice wine there as well. But if you want real Riesling, actually upstate New York and Ontario and stuff like that, they do pretty decent job. But the Germans, man, the Germans crush it.
All right.
Yeah,
you know my take on Riesling and Chardonnay, but you always tell me I'm drinking the wrong ones, and you're probably right because they're terrible.
You're telling me you don't like Chardonnay. You don't even know what Chardonnay is.
Probably not. All right, just another thing California's not good at. So my recess was going to be that I'm eating sushi today, but there's something in the chat about UBS.
You're eating sushi like every day these days.
So that's what I was going to talk about. I've been on a real thing. I learned so much about it out there. I know so much about sushi now. Like I was telling you the other day, I'm so proud of myself. Like I could do my own omakase. I know everything.
I'm doing omakase in a couple months. I confirm.
It's so fun. JC
has
taught me a lot of cool things over the years. So this cup I bought so that my girlfriend can help learn. It has the Japanese names. Is the focus gonna not be good?
It's not working.
There you go. See,
get it.
Ebi, shrimp, taco, octopus. It has all the Japanese.
Oh, I want that. Where can I get that?
It tells you, and it's like a picture book. What you need when you're ordering food.
I need that.
It's so cool. Yeah, sorry, you can't have one. So anyway, this will be like the fourth time I've had sushi since I've been back. We have a great sushi restaurant here. Shout out Me So Happy. They really do it right. I know I've told you, JC, the quail egg, the uni, like they have everything.
It's a great name for a sushi joint. So happy. I had great miso soup last night. I actually had sushi for dinner. That was great.
No,
what I have? I just want to throw that in. You know what I'm making for dinner tonight? I'm doing a ribeye cap. I got a whole ribeye cap that I'm making. I've never grilled a ribeye cap before.
Nice.
All right. My recess is there's a great article in the journal yesterday about how universities have been spending like drunken sailors over the last couple of decades. They did some really good reporting on that. I just dropped the link in the chat. I hadn't finished reading it yet, but it was really the first half that I've read is a really interesting look at just how much money colleges spend on stuff and and why and how they fund it. So
Some of these Ivy League schools have more money than they'll ever know what to do with.
well, in the endowments, that's
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. But
They don't care.
right, yes, this was more about just the insane spending over the last 2 decades because that's as far back as the data they looked at went. But just drunken sailors over there. Anyway, I thought it was really good. I dropped the problem. Okay, as far
Hold on, one real quick one. Speaking of like drunken spending, did you guys see these numbers about Phil Mickelson? Just the numbers,
yeah, I did.
mind blowing. Like
Dude.
we think Michael Jordan gambles a lot. This is absolutely crazy. The numbers in this new book from what's that gambler, Billy Walters?
I didn't retain his name. I hadn't actually I hadn't heard of him before yesterday.
So he's got the bet book, right? And like he has literally
Wow.
certain days where it's like Phil placed 40 bets this day. And he's gambling like $200,000 on each clip. So basically $1 billion in total money bet and 100 million in losses. I mean, look, we're talking about like small cap stocks.
Now you know why he went to live. All right. That'll be a wrap. Hey, here's the schedule for the rest of the day on Friday. Today, we got What the Fick at 11:30 with Ian Cully. Lunch and Learn. Sean's doing a lunch and learn today about something options related. And then at some point in the afternoon, we will upload the trend lines over headlines from this week with Patrick. So that's the schedule. Hey, drop us a like if you're watching us on YouTube. We'd appreciate that. We would also appreciate if you subscribed to our channel. We would even more appreciate if you went to our website, stockmarketmedia.com, just poked around, gave us some feedback. What's it missing? What do you like? What don't you like? It's really pretty, and we're very proud of the site. Thanks to our guest today, Louis Sykes. Thanks to all of you in the chat. Thanks to Kimmy Sokoloff, as always. We'll be back on Monday. Stay tuned for What the Fick in an hour and a half. Go make some money.
Adios.
Stock Market Mike was on fire in the chat today. Bye, guys.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off.